Hi guys, welcome to another insightful episode of Millennial Talk, where we talk about issues that affect millennials and how to deal with them. Well, it is the first week in April 2022, and I would like to say Happy New Month to all my viewers. So yeah, Happy New Month. Well, I hope this month brings good tidings to you and to me as well. Well, being the first week in the month of April, today we're going to be looking at an insightful topic. Basically, I feel like everybody would find this quite interesting because, well, the 2023 elections is around the corner, so we're going to be looking a bit into politics and, of course, from the millennial perspective as usual. Well, so the topic we're going to be discussing today is shaping politics in Nigeria, the millennial perspective. Now, over the last 2 decades, Nigeria has had about 5 elections, and we've had various leaders come and go. But the thing that doesn't seem to be changing is the situation of the country. Let's look at the insecurity. Let's look at the cost of goods and services. Let's look at the inflation rate and so on and so forth. You know, I believe something that if you're trying something a certain way and it doesn't work out, you know, sometimes you might just need to try a different way, you know, just to achieve the same goal. So the idea is, how do we move forward from where we are now as Nigerians? I believe that, you know, millennials have not been given enough opportunities to participate in politics. And, you know, this has got me wondering, if millennials were to participate fully in the coming elections, would it be a way forward for the nation? You know, a lot of questions in my head right there. But today I'm not going to be having the discussion alone. I have a special guest here with me, and of course he's into politics, so he's gonna be, you know, giving us a bit of insight from the millennial perspective as well. But before we go right into that conversation, let's take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
There is time for everything. It doesn't matter if it's food, work, hobbies, or just life. Millennials are always on the go, trying to make things happen. Millennial Talk, enlightening and supporting millennials on finance and growth for personal development. Join us on Millennial Talk every Thursday by 10 a.m. Start developing yourself today.
All right, guys, we are back. And like I said, I'm not going to be having this conversation alone. With me, I have an aspirant for the House of Assembly, the Uruan Constituency. Please introduce yourself, Mr. Emediong.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. My name is Emediong Akpabio. I'm the leading aspirant for the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Uruan Constituency. And beyond that, I'm a development person. I've worked in the development space for the past 6 years as a human rights and gender activist. Right. And I currently serve as one of the youth reference group of UNICEF in the African Union. Mm-hmm. And I also serve as a regional coordinator for the Fair Internship Initiative in Geneva, which is a UN internship advocacy group.
Right. Okay. I'd like to ask, just out of like my personal curiosity, why did you decide to go into politics, or why are you choosing? Why are you aspiring to you know, be in politics in Nigeria?
Yeah. So for me, politics, I see politics from the angle of policy, and I also know that as a development person, there are a lot of things that wouldn't change, except I'm able to influence it from the side of policy. Yeah. And so that's why I felt like this is just the right time. Like you rightly say, a lot of things haven't changed. But if we try this other way, it just might change.
So looking at things from the millennial perspective, now given the current situation of politics in Nigeria, which I actually think is quite a mess, with the state of the economy, the inflation rate, unemployment, and so on and so forth. Now, where do you think politics has failed in Nigeria?
Yeah, interestingly, and to be very candid, politics has failed on all sides. Yeah, so, and I'm speaking from the indices we have. You see the unemployment rate of about 35%. As of 2021, you see the inflation rate of about 16%. So all of this goes to show you that politics, or the political system has really failed in Nigeria as against what it was supposed to do as a missionary.
Yes, I believe so as well. But then, if we're saying that it has failed, do you actually think that the participation of millennials in, because I believe that we have the old geezers running the show basically, and then they've been doing this for about 2 decades or more, and nothing is actually changing. From my perspective as a millennial, sometimes I feel really upset with the political system. So I'm wondering, do you think that there will be any change at all, or an enormous change, if we have millennials in top political positions?
Yeah, things would definitely change, and this is not to hold brief or to put a bet on inclusion and participation of young people, but I do strongly believe that because we have evidence of young people being actively involved in politics in other parts of the country, and so it wouldn't be different in Nigeria at all. If we have young persons in politics, they don't even have to occupy the topmost offices. They just have to be where they want to be. For example, I am running for the House of Assembly, and have clearly articulated why I'm running for that office. It wouldn't be difficult for me to say I want to be a councillor or I want to be a governor. But because for me, policy really matters. And so I am looking at my capacity versus where do I fit into. And I, from before even going in, I know where I'll be able to drive a change. So this is how young people would be involved, because they're already seen what exactly they can do if they're involved. So it's just for this system to create an opportunity for young persons, and they would definitely see something different.
Right. There's a lot of noise about that recently, because a lot of young millennials are aspiring to take up positions so that they could make a change in Nigeria. But they put it out there that there are opportunities. In the real sense, I really don't think those opportunities are there. Fine. I mean, we would try, and we do hope that these opportunities are given at the end of the day. Let's move to our next question. So from your perspective, how do you think that change can be implemented in this nation? I mean, like we said, there's a lot of things. From you are looking at policies. I mean, could you give like an example of where we could start making change for the betterment of the nation? Now let's look at the debt situation, or should I say the debt situation in Nigeria currently. Well, sometimes I wonder, where are we actually heading? Is there really hope? So if we wanted to start flipping the coin or changing things around in Nigeria, where do we start?
You see, it's really quite difficult to know where to start from, because the problem is big. Yeah, we have to admit that we are in a mess, really. But it's not also difficult to start from somewhere. So for me, I would still say that it would be important to start from policy, because policy is a driver of a lot of things. I mean, no country heads anywhere without policy. And so we need to begin to either amend, or you want to call it edit, or you want to call it reform. But I mean, we need a lot of reforms across all sectors, as it borders these problems, as it intersects with these social and economic problems. So if we start from there, a lot of things could change. I still say, again, from the side of political system, you look at two things. You look at the political processes, and you look at the political institutions itself. So we can also start from the side of political processes. The processes of being elected into an office really matters. I mean, this is the starting point. If you see the process as something you respect, the people actually gave it to you on merit. When you get into that office, you would know that you swore to an oath to do a particular thing, and you respect not just the office but the people. So for you, it will be a call to service. other than what we are seeing now as bed rights,
Right. Thank you very much for that insight. Well, my last question to you would be, how can millennials position themselves for, winning in politics? Why? Because I know that a couple of years ago, Twitter trends and all of that, we have mostly the generation before taking most of the millennials as a joke, basically. There was the trend of lazy Nigerian youths and so on and so forth. So I believe that, from all angles, aside from the politicians, I believe we have this lackadaisical attitude towards politics to start with. Even voting, people don't even go out to vote and all of that. So how do you think that millennials can actually position themselves, play their own part in the whole system just to make the country move forward?
Yeah, I do not know how I sound giving response to, because it looks as if my response is it's not really conventional. But I believe that as opposed to what they used to ask us to do, before now, when they talk about inclusion and how young persons can be involved, they say, go and get your voter's card, every time, go and get your voter's card. Yes, you have a voter's card because it is your right to vote and voted for. But beyond just having your voter's card, it is just time for millennials to come out. You have to come out. You have to come out. You have to come out. The whole media around, you run for office because you have a lot of money or you need a lot of resources. I mean, I just feel like it's a tool for intimidation, right? So we just have to come out. Nothing than just come out. Just show up. Nobody's going to come to the house and say, look, come and do this or come and be here. You have to say that this is what you want. Come out, insist and demand. You will get it. You will get it. Even if you don't get it, you disrupt the system, right? You show something different, and then it's a good place to start from.
Okay, so just from the political side, what are your outlooks for 23 elections?
Yeah, 2023 is gonna really be interesting in my state, because I mean my territory is territorially is Akwa Ibom State is where I'm running for. But on the general side, I mean the whole entire country, is a starting point given the new electoral act. I used to say, I have said it before, that the act has given a reset to the system, and everybody's just going to try out to see what it looks like. We can't really say from here that this is what can happen, but I feel, and I keep saying, a lot of things can happen. It's also going to be like litmus test, going forward into our political procedure. We'll begin to understand that this can happen, this cannot happen. So I'm just being very positive about 2023. Of course, I'm also an aspirant, and I look forward to a lot of surprises.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for having this conversation with me and for the insight, and also for sharing the millennial perspective in politics as well.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, guys, I hope that you have, gained a thing or two from today's conversation. And just like he said, I think it is time for us to come out. This is not the time. 2023 is around the corner and the elections are about to go full force. So, it's not just about going out to vote, not just about getting your PVC, but also being a part of politics to make this country move forward. Well, if you'd like to find out more about finance and the financial market, you can visit our website, www.proshareng.com. Keep watching.